written for Whitney Houston, Keisha Cole, Monica, SWV, and a plethora of other independent artists that are currently being developed or already out. I work with Chamillionaire, J-Dog from H-Town. I work with a lot of people, and I've also developed a lot of artists as well.
Baby, I know that you see it, the rip that is growing between us, yeah. I'm quiet, but inside I'm screaming. I'm starting to feel like we never even really mattered. And baby, I know that you care for me, but your actions are showing me differently, yeah.
I started in the industry, I was, 16, 17 years old. I was in a girl group and that didn't work, and then I decided to go solo. And when I went solo, I was working and just, doing my thing, grinding and writing a whole bunch of records, but I just wasn't happy in my situation with the label that I was signed to. It wasn't nothing personal, it was just business. And so I decided to just keep it moving. I had a full scholarship to go to college. I had just graduated. I was like, let me just go to college and just see where things could fall. Maybe an opportunity can come from there. And then, like, one day, the following summer, my mom calls me and she's like, Tami, Whitney Houston is on the radio singing your song. And I was like, what? You tripping, mama, you tripping, right? And she's like, yo, you need to turn on the radio right now. So I never forget, I turned on the radio and I heard Whitney singing a song that I wrote, like, for my project that never came out. It was the most scariest, frightening, but at the same time excited feeling, because that's Whitney Houston. She's my icon, right? She's the one that we all aspire to be when we were little black girls.
That was important to you, the fact that I'm hurting you get it together. But I see that's a challenge. You breaking the rules and my attitude don't make it no better, and there ain't no balance. I just don't understand it.
I ended up finding out that the record label that I was signed to, they ended up selling the song, and I didn't know about it. So I had to make phone calls. I'm trying to track down a producer. I'm trying to track down a CEO. Like, what's going on? I was blown away, and I got on top of it. But I think, one of the most valuable things about that situation that happened was that, I had to have that talk with the CEO, and, we worked out something that was really favorable, but I also had the original copyright.
Oh, why can't you just get it right? Oh, why can't you just get it right?
I think that's why I stress so much on the importance of writers and producers, as well as independent artists, having their business together, because not all the time are you going to have, some huge attorney, because you may not have that kind of budget. Let's just be realistic, right? Or, you may be a producer who has a songwriter that you're working with, and the songwriter ends up blowing up, or the producer ends up blowing up and not looking out for the songwriter. It happens. So I think the fact that I had my copyright together, I was able to negotiate and use that as leverage for me to be able to, still get credit as well as publishing for the song, which is, it was something that's going to continue to take care of me for the rest of my life. And so I think that, me not even knowing, but that is what really became my platform for being a songwriter. It wasn't just singing and songwriting and being in the studio and, getting a publishing deal and getting valuable experience. I think in addition to that, I had a purpose and a message, and I found a way to be able to educate people through my tutorials and my videos on YouTube. I'm talking about understanding split sheets, understanding music publishing, just really giving people a glimpse into the business side from a creator. If you're a manager, you need to know how to make sure that your artist or your producer or your songwriter are able to make money, because if they don't make money, you don't make money.
You know that I love you, been nothing before you, but you gotta do better, you gotta do better. Don't wanna give up on you, telling me your love is true, but you gotta do better, you can do better.
I didn't know that one situation with Whitney Houston was gonna change my life the way it did, and that's why sometimes I sit back and I'm like, yo, this just had to have been destined by God. From getting a pub deal to being able to meet some of the dopest songwriters and producers, work with one of the #1 publishing companies in the world at the time, EMI. I really, really got a chance to hone in on my craft, study it and just develop skills that I'm now able to teach and help develop other songwriters and producers.
You gotta do better. But if this how you want it to be, then it really don't matter. My heart has been shattered, skipping a beat, yeah. Just like a cadence on a drum, you switch up the pattern. Then you get mad when I'm snapping. See, it could all be so simple. My girl Lauren gave you the memo, but you just like to make things complicated, then get mad over shit that you created.
In addition to the workshops that I do on YouTube, I think I'm like at 600,000 views now, became a YouTube partner. I was just sharing the knowledge one day. Somebody kept asking me, hey, I heard about your story, about, how you almost got your song stolen from you. How did you get it back? And what did you do? And what's copyright and what's split sheets? And I just was like, let me just do a video and put it on YouTube. That way, if there's anybody who wants that knowledge, there it is. I had no idea that those videos would take off and get the responses that I've gotten, but it definitely has become a passion of mine to be able to educate other writers and producers and creators. And now I'm doing consultations, people booking me to speak at different universities and different law schools and programs, music schools, just to really give a glimpse of the business side from a creator's perspective. Because a lot of times you can have attorneys that come to the meetings and, they're going to talk their jargon because that's what they study. That's what they're passionate about. But does that really make a connection with the songwriter and the producer and the creator? And so I think, I just think that definitely has worked in my favor, that I've been able to talk to songwriters and help them understand in our terms, in layman terms, not in, legal terms. Like, I can explain to them what copyright is, why it's so important, how to file your copyright, what is publishing, what are different types of publishing, how to get paid from publishing. And so those workshops have been doing really, really well. But, I'm about to start doing some events that are going to be pretty big.
Now you got me thinking love is overrated, or did we move so fast? Probably should've waited.
Started November the 4th. November the 4th, you can actually come out for 2 hours from 8 to 10 and just meet up. It's like a songwriter and producer link up, where we'll all be in one room. You can actually come out, network, meet each other, and then for that first hour, we're going to talk about the business. We're going to talk about where the current stage of music is. I'm going to be talking about split sheets, publishing, copyright, understanding streaming, understanding what's currently going on in Congress. That's so important, like getting to understand the Songwriter Equity Act and why it's so important that we are advocates for their rights. I don't really see a lot of the chatter going on about that, and so my goal is to be able to bring it to the forefront for people to understand. I'm going to have special guests, so some of the dopest songwriters in the industry, the dopest producers in the industry who've just accomplished and written for some of the biggest artists, and even some executives too, because we need to understand where we currently are in the climate. I'm also excited about having licensing opportunities where songwriters can actually come and learn about the songs or the type of songs rather, that are getting placed or that film and TV networks are looking for, because that's an extra way revenue can be made. And I think that by me, doing something like this, it brings us all together, because it's a lot of cliquey stuff going on. And I just think at this point, we need to be more empowering and help each other and build each other up. I've met some very talented songwriters and producers that I'm looking forward to being able to put in other opportunities and, just give them a chance to submit their work and be able to pitch stuff so that they too can have opportunities. It's not just about me. I've had my run, and I'm really, really looking forward to being able to, help others and, teach and help them understand and even develop them, because you got a lot of writers who are they're missing that one thing. It could be, maybe the structure is a little bit off, or maybe the hook needs to be a little bit more catchier. Maybe we need to rework some lines. Maybe the words need to be a little bit more clever. And so I just think this is it's gonna be that hub where everybody can just come. This is monthly, once a month, and come and really understand and learn the business. And then, next thing you know, it's gonna be songwriters coming out of those different workshops that are like, yo, I went to these workshops Tami LaTrell was doing, and they were awesome, and she helped me get this opportunity, and I met with this person through her, or being at her event. I ended up linking up with a producer who ended up getting me on this project. Record label executives were there. We're just trying to create the movement. So I'm really, really excited about it, and what it's gonna bring to Atlanta. And I'm just hoping for the best. The last thing is my all new website, TamiLaTrell.com. So right now on my website, there are courses that you can download, and be able to learn as much as you want, that I have available. Some great resources, just a library of resources that will help expand your knowledge on the business of songwriting, the business of publishing, the business of copyright. And I even have some of my behind the scenes, footage in there, working in the studio, stuff that I'm currently working on. And then those licensing opportunities are not just open to people in Atlanta, but we'll be able to pitch your music just by you going to the website and getting more knowledge about the type of films, the type of networks that are looking for material. I just think it's just a way to make everything accessible to everybody. This is no secret. Let's all be successful. Let's all be wealthy. Let's all start a movement of creators coming together and uniting. Let's just dead the politics, Let's just get together and work. Do the work. Learn the work. Study the work. If this is what you really want to do.
You know that I love you, put nothing before you. But you gotta do better, you gotta do better. Don't wanna give up on you, telling me your love is true. But you gotta do better, you can do better. You can do better. You can do better. You can do better. Won't give up on you, just do better. But you gotta do better. You can do better.
It's just all about changing and not focusing on what's now, but focusing on what's next. There are a lot of independent artists that are out, and it just makes me cringe inside when I see that they're just taking their songs that they worked hard for in the studio for hours and hours and hours, and they're just throwing it on TuneCore. They're just throwing it on CD Baby. Don't have the business together, don't have anything registered, just really being irresponsible with their craft. And so I'm hoping that these videos, my workshops, these meetings, these link ups that we have will help them kind of see things from a different perspective and say, hold up, before I upload all my stuff, let me make sure I got my ducks in a row so that I can protect myself should anything happen. Instead of me just throwing stuff up on YouTube and throwing my songs up on, SoundCloud, let me at least make sure I got my business straight. And that's all I'm trying to do, is just help be the conduit, to get them to understand that, knowledge is power. I know we've heard that before, but it's so true. As an artist, you should be proud about what you're representing, because it's actually protected. It's your creative work. And you can go out and pitch your songs. You can go out and license them. You can go out and try to get them on placements and have other people work on your behalf. But you at least can sleep at night knowing that there's nobody out there just taking your idea and running with it. Because it happens every day. It happens every single day. And we're just in the stage of just trying to educate. That's where I am right now. That's my platform, is really trying to get people to understand the value of their work. So I'm excited.